Hi everyone, welcome back to Trees and Turtles. My name's Imogen. In today's video I am talking about 7 things I do to stay grounded. If you're not already subscribed, make sure to do that, give this video a thumbs up, follow me on Instagram, and let's get started. So staying grounded is really important for me because I have chronic anxiety and I've often found like a variety of ways to calm myself down. I've made a video on my coping mechanisms, so if you like, go check that out. But in general, even if you don't have anxiety, it's really good to sort of stay grounded in the present moment and just live your life to the fullest in the moment that you're in. Obviously, plan for the future. You know, I'm a huge advocate of planning, but nevertheless, being present and being mindful has an enormous amount of value. So let's talk about that. Number 1, music, okay? So I've talked about this in other videos, but music has always been really important to me ever since I was a young teenager, and it continues to be really important to me. I feel like when I find music that I really connect with, it sort of like naturally calms me and it takes me out of my sort of like overthinking headspace, and it puts me into this really sort of relaxed state, or I can very much adjust my emotions just by listening to particular music. So I want to be hyped up, I'll listen to Lady Gaga, okay? I want to like calm down, I'll listen to like Oh Wonder or Cigarettes After Sex or whatever, okay? And you know, if I'm in the mood for a laugh, I'll listen to Bo Burnham, or like I'm worried about the state of the world also. Okay, so music is a really good way to experience catharsis through emotions, whatever your music taste is. And I just really, really appreciate that. Whenever I need grounding, I'll just like put my headphones in and suddenly I just feel completely at peace, or like motivated or hyped up, or whatever I need in that moment, I can get from music, okay? Highly recommend finding a favorite artist who makes you feel like that. This next one, I have done this like for 10 years now, but journaling. I love to journal. I have a collection of nearly 30 journals, and just writing my feelings down helps sort of get them, so I often feel that my feelings are like a mess in my head, and my thoughts and feelings are just like this sort of big spaghetti-like mess, and writing them down helps me sort of untangle that into like a single thread of like lines on the page. And I've always really liked lined notebooks because I feel like they give my thoughts order. And you know, I know other people journal for like with like blank pages or like box pages or whatever, but like I just feel like lines give my thoughts order, and they help me, they just calm me as well, because I can think faster than I can write. So when I'm overthinking, my brain's running away with itself, but when I'm writing, I have to slow down because I'm putting words on the page and I need to slow down my thinking if I want to be able to write effectively, because my hand cannot move as fast as my brain moves, okay? So that like physical limitation in itself, and believe me, I have worked on getting faster, like that physical limitation in itself is actually very calming, okay? And it's very meditative. So I highly recommend journaling, and you don't even have to be good at it. Like, God knows I'm not good at it. I am literally not good at it, okay? But that's not the point. The journal is there to serve you. You are not there to be a perfect journal keeper, writer person, okay? Number 3, this one has always inspired me and calmed me a lot, just being in nature. Now, obviously, it can be a little bit more difficult in the winter because nature is cold and dark and wet and sometimes very snowy, but being outside in nature always like keeps me so grounded. When I was in San Francisco in the summer, I saw the Pacific Ocean for the first time. I went to Baker Beach and I saw the Pacific Ocean for the first time, and that was just the most immensely calming and grounding moment for me, because I was just sat there with the sort of, I could hear the seagulls, I could hear the like ocean waves, I could hear like, I think there were some dogs barking on the beach and they were just like running around with like a bit of driftwood or something, and it was just the most amazing sort of moment where I felt completely in tune with nature. And I will do this like as often as I can. Like I will go out and like stand under a tree and listen to the bird song, or I'll go and sit by a river. I had this particular spot when I was at Durham, which I used to visit a lot in first year, which was by one of the college boat houses, and there was a tree and a little jetty out into the water, and I'd go and like I'd sit on it and lean my back against the tree and just watch the river go by. My favourite time was when there were ducklings. There were ducklings one time, that was really cool. But anyway, nature is it just calms you, it just grounds you, okay? I can't recommend it enough. I'm a huge advocate for nature. All right, number 4, talk to your friends. Okay, now I get that maybe some of you have social anxiety. How do I know that? I have social anxiety and you're watching my channel. So it's a fair guess that maybe some of you have social anxiety, because I yap a lot about mental health on here. And that can kind of be a barrier in making friends and also talking to your friends. Like, I love all my close friends dearly, but sometimes I don't talk to them for a while. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna bother them. And even though they told me loads of times, this isn't the case, we want to talk to you, sometimes I'm just like, oh, I'm gonna bother them. And it takes me a while to like get myself to a place where I'm like, oh yeah, I'm gonna talk to them, okay? But I promise, like, every single time I have, it's made me feel so much better. Like, being around one of my close friends, hanging out with them, or like multiple of them, it just keeps me in the moment and it makes me feel so good, okay? So finding those people that you really like click with and that really sort of like feed your soul in the best way is so grounding, and it just feels calming and reassuring. All right, the next one is good sleep. Now, I know that if you are kind of like wired a little bit and you're running around, then good sleep can be something that feels like it's difficult to reach. But if you can, try and take like at least one night at the weekend to try and really just focus on sleep, okay? Go to bed super early, have no alarm. I know I'm always telling you to get up at 5 a.m, but I think sometimes it's okay to sleep in, especially if you're trying to set like a good like association with sleep of something that's valuable to you and something that's healthy for you, okay? So good sleep, and like you can obviously train yourself to sleep within a particular window, but I think at the start, like learning to just focus on sleep and good sleep is really helpful. There's a sleep app I use to track my sleep patterns called Sleep Cycle. This is not in any way sponsored, I've just used it for like a bunch of years. You can get it on the iTunes store. I think it's also available for Android, I'm not sure. Anyway, good sleep, that helps me like track my sleep and then kind of link like lower quality nights to factors that might have like harmed my sleep or whatever, so I can improve my sleep overall. Anyway. Good sleep. All right. The next tip I have is to take time to be grateful for the work I've put in and what I've achieved. Sometimes when I am pursuing a lot of goals, it can get very sort of what's next, if you know what I mean. So have you guys ever watched The West Wing? I love The West Wing. It's a great TV drama, and one of the characters has the catchphrase, what's next? Because they're always like, they're always like making new policies and they got to sort out these international conflicts, okay, because it's the White House. So he has this catchphrase, what's next? And I often feel like my sort of productivity is kind of like that. Sometimes I'm always looking ahead, like what's next, what's next, what's next? Obviously, I'm not the president, but anyway, end of analogy, sorry guys. But I like to take time to be grateful for the work I've already put in, because if you don't take time for this, if you don't take time to be grateful for what you've already done, be grateful to your past self and be proud of your past self, because they made you the person that you are today, okay? So once you see that, you'll actually be able to relax a lot more, because you'll see, oh, I've actually done a lot of work and it was really good. And I can be really proud of that, okay? And I feel like that sense of emotional security, giving that to yourself, is very grounding. Okay, and the final one I have for you is hobbies which make me feel genuine joy, okay? So since I graduated, I have really upped my hobbies game. So I've started ice skating again, learning languages, coding, I've learned to cook, I have picked up my D&D campaign again, which I am playing in, not DMing. Anyway, so hobbies which bring me a lot of joy. And again, journaling, being in nature, like I said, these are all hobbies for me as well. And just all of these things that make me feel happy and put me into that kind of like flow state where I'm just enjoying myself. Like, I've made it my mission since I graduated just to have kind of more fun in my life, because I was not really having a lot of fun in my life and I want to have fun. I'm in my 20s, why shouldn't I? So having hobbies that make me feel genuine joy really make me like forget where the time is going and help me feel grounded, okay? So those are 7 things I do to stay grounded. If you're not already subscribed, make sure to do that, give this video a thumbs up, follow me on Instagram. I will see you all in the next video. Okay, bye!